Hello and welcome to Toothless Tesla. Today I want to talk to you about EV charging in Hong Kong. Now the thumbnail image that I've shown you is a possible scenario of on-street charging. But I don't think this will ever happen in Hong Kong simply because Hong Kong has a different strategy to, for example, on-street charging in Norway, in London and also in Australia, where there are places where you can just drive your car, park on the street, and then there will be some EV chargers for you to charge your EV. So for example, recently I was in a village in Kent and I spotted a couple of EV chargers along the street. They were vacant at the time, but they piqued my interest. So I took some photos just to show you. Now these EV chargers are similar to the electricity meters that I've shown you in Hong Kong. But I don't think Hong Kong will ever use those electricity meters for EV charging. Instead, those electricity meters that you see in Hong Kong are actually for individual stalls for the night markets. So during COVID, unfortunately, many of those stalls had no business and were just left empty. During the daytime, I just took a photo of the electricity meters and I thought that they looked pretty much like EV chargers, particularly when cars were parked next to them. But Hong Kong has an entirely different strategy for EV charging. They won't rely on installing EV chargers on the roadside. This is because this is not a practical solution for Hong Kong. Instead, the Hong Kong government is focusing on installing EV chargers at commercial car parks, at shopping malls, and also at residential car parks. So for the residential car parks, I've already mentioned in a previous video that the government initially earmarked $2 billion for management companies of residential buildings to apply for installation of EV chargers. Now, since that launch in late 2020, it became such a success that the government decided to add an extra 1.5 billion to the kitty. So now the government has pledged $3.5 billion for residential buildings to install EV chargers for all their car parks. And I'll show you a map of one of the floors of this car park where the consultants have actually drawn up plans to put EV chargers on every single car parking space. So it's a huge undertaking, but a popular one as well. Many residential car parks are actually applying for the subsidies from the government to install EV chargers. And that is going to be a huge game changer here in Hong Kong. Here in Hong Kong, all we need is to be able to charge our EVs maybe overnight. So charging at home or in our residential car park is the most obvious option. When we are out and about, then driving up to a shopping mall car park, or when we go to work, we can go to a commercial car park, and there we can find EV chargers too. So the need for on-street parking is just not there. And that brings me on to supercharging as well. Superchargers or ultra-fast chargers are simply not required in Hong Kong, unless of course you are a professional driver. If you are a taxi driver or you drive an electric minibus or an electric bus, and these are yet to come online in Hong Kong at the moment, but if you do happen to have an electric taxi or minibus or bus, then you will need to have supercharging in order to maximize the amount of time you use your electric vehicle. But other than that, there is no need for supercharging in Hong Kong. So for me, the Tesla superchargers, they were a really nice gimmick at the beginning to draw in the Tesla fanboys and to get many people to buy Tesla. but the superchargers is really not necessary. I rarely supercharge now, and I can get by with destination chargers or even sometimes granny chargers. So in summary, if you are a private car owner in Hong Kong, then having an EV makes much more sense in the future. I can see this trend happening, and watch out for my future videos where I will show you, for example, Lamborghini owners who have actually changed to Tesla Model Ys. So please be sure to like and subscribe, and watch out for my future videos. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.